Well, imagine that you had an old car, and at nighttime, and you're driving that old car slow, and your headlights are not too strong, they're going out, but it's okay, because you're not going too fast. But then imagine you start to speed up, but your headlights are going the same distance. Sooner or later, you're going to crash. The technological change is like the speed up of the car. And what's unique this time is in the past of technological change from agriculture to industrial or information, is we did not have a global platform for simultaneous sharing of the most advanced things, which means it's not a question of Latin America falling behind. It's that a lot of those advances will hit Latin America simultaneously with the whole world. So this is unique. Not only Latin America, but all of them, Canada, the United States too, Mexico. So we as a people have to think together because the changes of technology isn't for one country or another country. We're hitting this together. Now, imagine that when the internet began coming around the Americas, if we had thought about, well, what are the bad parts? Like, could it be used for gangsters? Could it be used for money laundering? Could it be used for pornography? We didn't. We did not have prospective studies on the internet in the Caribbean and Latin America. I remember, because I was part of the 80s trying to get people to do that. And people said, Well, let's not make that mistake again, because when we go from artificial narrow intelligence, which I'll talk about in the conference, to general intelligence, that's going to be a much, much bigger change than the internet. So now is the time for us to look at possibilities. We don't know the truth of the future, but we can know the possibilities and know what we ought to do about these possibilities now so we can prepare about them so the transition can be smooth. Well, we just did a study, a 3-year study on these questions. And we had 3 scenarios. And then these were given to workshops around the world. And they came up with hundreds of suggestions. We distilled these down to 93. And we pushed hard to get them down to 93. So there's no one thing that needs to be done. It's a whole slew of things that need to be done. But one of the things that everybody seems to agree in, that our former way of doing education, everybody first grade, everybody second, they're moving in lockstep like this, which is good for factories. You want to have people, working in lockstep in a factory, that's right. But as we move into the next age, where you're finding markets for your skills around the world, that's a flexibility of mind, a flexibility of thinking that you don't get when everybody is taught the same way. Because we're not all the same, we're different. But we now have capabilities to change education so that it can be individualized, so that you can get the best person to teach you with your personality and your interests, who may be in Venezuela, may be in Canada, maybe somewhere else. We can start to open up the avenues for education. And so the idea of flexibility of thinking and increasing brain functioning, because the future is going to require more intelligence than the past. We now know that the brain can be improved. No matter what your inheritance was, it can be improved. So every Ministry of Education should make increasing intelligence an objective of education. So then teacher training schools have to say, well, how do we do this? How do we improve intelligence? And then how do we actually connect with ourselves to the world? So there's all kinds of stuff that needs to be done, not just one thing. So they can read the report.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.